Oh boy, I have some extremely cranky mama cows right now. Extremely cranky. Yesterday, I actually brought most of my herd into their winter yard for the winter.
Duh.
And overall, the process went quite smoothly. Isn't that right, Ginny Barn Cat? Come on, Belinda, let's go. You can be the first one down. Come on, you're next, Bun. Let's go. Elvis, I want you to stay back here. Come on, Bun. And so yes, I have actually all of my cows sorted into this yard. And while the sorting process actually went pretty smoothly, there were like 2 small complications, or I guess 1 small complication. So that right there is one of my heifer calves that was born earlier this year. Her name is Curly Sue. She's actually the daughter of Bonnie McMurray, who's over there somewhere. And so while the rest of my calves are actually still up on the top of the pasture, Curly Sue actually snuck in here with the moms. And so because I need to separate the calves out from the moms for a couple of weeks so that they can be weaned off, meaning they're not going to be drinking milk from their mother anymore, I'm keeping her over on this side. Baby B, who is my 2.5-year-old heifer, who is hopefully bred at this point, I kept her over on this side with Curly Sue, just so Curly Sue wouldn't be entirely alone. And so the 2 of them have been spending the night over on this side. And later this morning, I will probably move Baby B over into the main yard with the moms. But like I said, I didn't want to leave Curly Sue all alone, and so I'm keeping her here until we go up to the top of the hill and bring the rest of the herd down, which we'll do in a couple of minutes. Hey, Toby dog. Hey, Abby dog. Abby, you are not on good behavior right now. What's going on? Hi, hi, hi. Hi, buddy. Okay, now you've been a good girl, now you get pet. There you go. Now, dogs, I have a special surprise. I have an extra baked potato from last night's dinner. Let you guys split it. There you go. They love baked potatoes. When I make dinner, I usually make extra in case like Allison or me wants something for lunch. But I will also say that usually that extra potato that I bake is meant for the dogs. Morning, goats. How's it going there, Bingo? How's it going there, Bluey? I'll let you guys out in a little bit, but I don't want you out until after I'm done moving the cattle. So you need to stay in lockdown for the moment. Good morning, birds. How's everybody doing this morning? How's my noisy little duck flock doing? How's it going, Greta? That's Greta. She's now the oldest bird we have on our farm. Abby, what you got there? Did somebody just lay an egg? Oh, yeah, this is fresh. This is like fresh out of the duck. Somebody just dropped this. Because I have a lot fewer birds in here than in previous years, I'm experimenting with like trying to keep all their water in here and see if it freezes slower. It's still a little bit too warm for that. I don't know if this experiment's gonna work because my main reason for traditionally not keeping the water in here is just because it gets so messy, and it's actually continuing to prove that point. And so I don't know. We'll see, but I am, for at least the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna keep experimenting with putting all their water infrastructure inside the hoop coop to see if that gives me a better result. I will also be like moving it around to different spots inside of here. Just, again, testing and learning. You know, one of the things that I've noticed is once you start doing the same thing over and over again a couple of times, you start to like fall into a pattern and do it exactly the same way. And in some ways that makes perfect sense and it's very logical. But if you don't stop and sort of test some of those assumptions and try new ideas, you're never gonna find anything that's better. And so, I don't know, I'm trying to like create a balancing act with that sort of stuff. You know, once I move Macho Man and the calves down, we will actually have the farm in its full winter configuration. And in some ways that's kind of sad, but in other ways it's kind of a relief. I guess the way I would frame it is that the farm becomes much cozier. And now I'm here to bring you guys the heartwarming story of a single dad forced to raise his 6 children on his own. Yeah, that's because we got Macho Man. He's actually up here with the kids. I don't know where Macho Man is exactly. Like, I see Meatloaf right here. What's up, Loaf? How's it going, buddy? I would do anything for treats. No, he won't do that. No, I won't do. Well, I guess it's officially time to call the cows home. Hey, cows! Come on, cows, fresh grass, come on. I can see they're like all scattered all over the pasture, and so this will take a few minutes for them to come in, but I just want to get them called in. You know, the calves are probably pretty cranky right about now because for most of their life, they've been mixing their hay and their grass with milk. And I mean, it started out where they were getting all milk. From what I've seen, these cattle start eating grass within the first 2 or 3 days. They're already munching, maybe even the first day. I think I've seen it before. And then by like month 1.5, 2 months, they're getting maybe about 1/3 to 1/2 their diet. And by 3 months old, it's probably like 80% of their diet. But they always have had this milk bonus coming into the mix that has now officially and somewhat abruptly come to an end. You know, not to gross you guys out or anything, but one of the interesting things you notice about cow poops is, see how those are like hard and clumpy and kind of look like giant goat poops almost? Well, that shows that there's still milk in the diet of that animal versus a poop like that, which would say that there is no milk. Right now, the only calf that is already weaned is Elvis Presley, because when I sold his mom a few weeks ago, basically that was the end of his milk supply. But the other calves, this is a little bit of a rude awakening. Even though they're less dangerous than the moms and the parents in general, the calves are actually the trickiest to move because they're least comfortable with me, and they kind of have a mind of their own. Well, hello there, Princess Buttercup. How are you? Can I interest you in a treat? This might take some of the edge off of your lack of milk. It seems like all the calves are spread to the wind up here. I'm gonna go see if I can start rounding them up with the bike. Cause I'm a cowboy on an aluminum lithium ion powered horse I ride. And I'm wanted. That was really cringe. How's it going, Elvis? You wanna lead the charge? Come on, let's go. We're all getting everybody going down the hill. Hey, Macho Man, I'm here to pick up you and the kids. Come on, let's go, guy. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Do you fellas wanna come with me? Is that a yes or a no? Come on, Macho Man, let's go. Follow me. Well, it definitely doesn't look like Macho Man's following me. He's still way back there. I know if I like wanted to put the work in, I could like herd him, whether it be just walking him with treats or a brush. But I'm not exactly sure if the juice is gonna be worth the squeeze on that one, you know? Like, one of the lessons I've learned about working with cattle is it's way easier if you have them motivated intrinsically, or I guess not technically intrinsically, but like they're motivated with wanting to do something versus you pushing them to do something. Maybe that's like the difference between push and pull. It would be easier if they were like already down here, they saw and heard me and thought they were gonna get extra food, but they're just kind of out grazing the pasture right now, eating down the last of the grass stubble. There's some definitely grass stubble like further back there, and so I don't know, I'll just let them do that for another day or so. And honestly, the only one that seems motivated to move is Meatloaf over here. I know he can see his mom and all the other ladies down at the bottom of the hill. It's kind of a cool vantage point if I look down the hill like this. But trying to catch 6 calves across 30 acres of open pasture, that is not something I'm interested in doing. They have plenty of food. They have about 100 gallons of water. And so, yeah, they will eventually want to come down. And so, yeah, I think the best course of action is just to be patient and check back in with them later. Let's check in on the Cranky Moms Club and see how everybody's doing. How's it going, Bonnie McMurray? You doing good? Care for a treat? Oh, you like the treats. You're suspicious of me, but you like the treats. There you go. See? That wasn't so bad. Hey, Belle. Are you excited to be reunited with the rest of the herd? Betty and Belle were the first to move in here. And they were the first to find the burdock. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, easy. Hey, Belinda Carlisle, I saw that. Here you go. get your treat, but I gotta be careful. The truth of the matter is I really shouldn't be feeding them treats in here because it is an enclosed area. And like I've said before, I don't really have a fear of the cattle getting aggressive with me, but I do have a fear of the cattle getting aggressive with each other. And then for me to get squished in the cow sandwich. So you can see over here though, this is where the feeding activity is going on. And our two heifers, Betty and Belle, are kind of happy to be with their moms. They're like the only ones who aren't crying because right now a lot of the moms are like hoping to get milked and get relieved from the pressure of lactation. Their calves aren't here, and so that's why you hear them bellowing so loud. You might think they sound upset because they miss their young ones, and that might be a little bit part of it, but the bigger issue is they're full of milk. Now, Anna Green Gables is funny because she knows me. She's one of my oldest cows, longest held cows. She refuses to eat from my hand. She'll even do this gesture where she'll like move her horns down wanting me to signal to do it, but she will never ever take from your hand. But she will take it immediately after you drop it on the ground. I've been working with her for 5 years and I've pretty much given up her ever taking a treat from my hand or her letting me brush her. Oh, Bonnie. You bellow so loud, I know. So Curly Sue was Bonnie's first calf. And again, Curly Sue's actually the one down in the lower yard. You can actually see her walking down the hill right now. So this is all new for Bonnie, and so she's just getting used to this. But yes, what you hear right now are the joys and sounds of weaning season. Hello, goats. How's everybody doing? I actually locked Abby in here before I went to go try to move the cattle down. Hi, Bluey. Hi, Bingo. Hey, Larn. Hey, Barnacus. Hey, Telemachus. I was actually kind of careless and I didn't separate her or put her in the goat yard when I was moving the main herd down yesterday. That kind of backfired on me because she kind of created some chaos and wasn't really all that helpful. And so yes, that's why she probably spent the last half hour stuck in the goat yard. One interaction I have become endlessly fascinated with is watching the goats and the cattle interact with each other. Hey, baby bee, would you like a treat? Here you go, sweetheart. Take it. Abby, you don't even want a treat. I'll give you a treat, but you don't want it. Don't get jealous, baby bee. Here, you can have a second one. There you go. They've been coming down here and eating some of this cattle hay that I have left. Hey, Curly Sue. Can I offer you a treat? No? You don't want that treat? Okay. Yeah, there's other little cows here now, Curly Sue. I don't know what you're gonna do about that. I'm sorry, Bonnie. So Curly Sue's mom, Bonnie, as I keep saying, you can see her right here. They're bellowing to each other. But like I said, this will calm down after a couple of days. This is really like the first 24 hours, which is, like, first 24, 48 hours is the worst. Can I brush you? Let me brush you? There you go. Hopefully baby B is pregnant and she will have her first calves this spring. Her first calf, I should say. I don't really want her having twins, at least not at this age. But yeah, I am really looking forward to a baby B, which would end up being a baby C. Hey, Ginny Barncat, here, let me feed you. There you go, sweetie. You're such a sweetheart. Yes, you are. Love you so much, Ginny. As you can obviously tell, I have actually left the farm because I am going on a little bit of a field trip this morning. Back in the summer, I took up a new hobby that's actually kind of an old hobby that like is something I used to do a ton when I was like a kid and a teenager. And while I've dabbled in it just a little bit here and there over the last year, back in like June, July, I really picked it up and started getting back into it in a significant way. And so where I'm taking you guys today has a lot to do with that new hobby. So I'm at the Nonfiction Comics Festival here in Burlington, Vermont today. I think this is like the fourth one that they've had, and I don't know. I guess because I've been so into drawing comics lately, I figured it'd be kind of fun to come here and check it out and see what's going on. And it's awesome just seeing the turnout and like all the folks that they've got here, the different creators that are here, just the sheer number of comics that are out here. It's almost like overwhelming. But I'm really excited to buy some books and meet some people today and see what I see. And so yeah, come hang out with me. Well, that was a lot of fun. So like growing up, I was a huge comic book fan as a kid, and like comic strips and like
You know, everything from Calvin and Hobbes to Matt Groening's Life in Hell to like, I don't know, I was reading like R. Crumb comics when I was like a 12-year-old. Comics were always like my favorite form of expression as a kid. I don't know, I guess, you know, when I went to college, I kind of got out of drawing comics and haven't really drawn much ever since. Like I, you know, draw stuff, like I draw things like some of the art for some of our merch and like that sort of stuff. Like I hadn't been drawing comics like I traditionally had when I was a kid. And really even like the way I made a lot of my friends when I was a kid was by like making little mini comics, like some of the stuff that you saw me buying at the comic festival. And that experience was so important for me just in terms of like making friends and feeling like I was actually having social connections, but also in just finding a way to have creative expression and like developing a skill set. Like, I mean, I think a lot of the stuff you guys see me do in videos even still translates back to things that I learned while I was doing comics. And so, I don't know, it was just fun going to that from that perspective. But then the other thing is, I've talked a little bit about this. Back in the summer, I started drawing a new graphic novel, and my goal is to try to finish it by the end of winter. I was trying to finish it by the end of the year. That's not going to happen. It's just too much work. But it's like a 135-page story, all set in Vermont, that I've been just kind of going through and drawing panel by panel, page by page. So that has me doing just more comics in general and interested in more in comics in general. And so when I heard that that was happening today, I was like, oh, I got to go check it out and just see what's going on. I also, if you guys are interested, I recently started a new Substack where I'm putting out like a weekly comic strip, which is meant to be just kind of like a little like sketch diary of things that I think about and that are going on that, I don't know, for some reason, I feel like especially in this day and age, like while it's fun to make videos, it's also fun to like express ideas and communicate things in different formats. And so if you're looking for my comics, you can definitely check out that Substack. And I don't know, you'll probably hear about it in a year or two if I can actually get a publisher for my graphic novel. I'll be talking about that then. But yeah, if you want comics, go check out my Substack.
Now, while I was at the festival, I did pick up a couple of different comics. One of them is actually a biography about Will Eisner. If you guys don't know who Will Eisner is, he's a pretty famous, legendary cartoonist, worked kind of across the 20th century. And he wrote a very influential book. I think it's called Sequential Art and Storytelling. It is arguably one of the 5 books that most influenced me in life. And so I met these 2 really nice guys there, Steven and Dan, who made this biography, and I'm super excited about reading this. I also picked up a copy of Dear Minnie. It's this really cool comic memoir by this woman, Natalie Norris. I've heard a lot about it, and it's like her story, like a kind of a coming-of-age story about her experiences in Europe. She's a Burlington-based cartoonist, and I've heard about this book a lot, and I haven't read it, so I'm super excited to have my hands on a copy, and I can't wait to read it. And then finally, I met this woman, Kristen, who is very nice, and she made this very interesting mini comic about AI and creative spark, and just even having the conversation I did with her, I'm very curious to see what her thoughts are on this topic. And so yes, while I did end up spending way too much money on comics at the Comics Festival, these were the 3 most interesting things that I bought there.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
I know, I'm back late. All right, let's get our goats locked up first. Come on, girls and goats. Let's go inside, everybody. I'll give you some goat alfalfa pellets. Leave some extras down here for the girls. Here you go, girls. Good night, goatois. All right, Toby, let's do a quick check on the birds. Make sure everybody's okay. They should be okay. All right, birds look okay. I don't think there's anything that needs to be done here. I don't know why this one rooster keeps sleeping over here. Whoa. There's another bird that was sleeping up there. Come here, buddy. Come on, pal. I'm just putting you to bed where you're supposed to go to bed. I want you to go in through this door. Good night, dirty birds. Watch as the door closes ever so slowly. Looks like we got another duck egg. This can go on the dog dinner. And speaking of dog dinner, Toby dog, we are prepping the dog dinner, There's some food, even out the bowl a little bit. Add some eggs, add some toppers. All right, we're gonna feed an Abby dog. Here you go, Abs. And we're gonna feed a Toby dog. There you go, Tobes. Enjoy your supper there, pal. It's not so dark that I can't see without a light, but it's getting pretty close to being so dark. See baby B chilling out right here. What's up, baby bee? I don't have any more treats for you, so you might as well just stay down. It's okay. And I see Curly Sue way up on the hill there. You know, I was hoping to come back here with just enough time to get Macho Man and the kids to come down, but I don't think I have enough time tonight. But it looks like things in our mama cow yard are in pretty good shape. And so I think I'm gonna have to attempt the move of Macho Man and the kids tomorrow morning.